Hey, you guys, as promised, a couple things are going to happen today. First, I know that many of you are anxiously awaiting to find out who won our free photo shoot giveaway. And honestly, we got flooded with so many submissions that haven't made them through raw yet. I mean, they came from LinkedIn, they came from Twitter, they came from Instagram, they came through my email, they came through Facebook. So just be a little more patient with me because I do want to give each one the proper thought and the team as well that it deserves. And that announcement will be coming soon. So, but I promised in a live a few days ago that I would pop in and talk about this new Clubhouse phenomenon that everybody is jumping on or not jumping on, questioning or critiquing, having good success or bad experiences on from a social media strategist perspective. So Clubhouse was actually launched in May of last year. And at the time, they only invited about 1,500 influencers. And it was started by a venture capitalist firm, Andreessen Horowitz, which I've long been a fan of Ben Horowitz, of his investments, of the way that he invests, buys, sells tech companies. I mean, he's done this for a very long time. Is a very wealthy man from doing it. He is of Jewish descent. His wife is African American. She's hey Gab, she's friends with like the Tina Lawsons and the Samuel Jacksons and Oprah's, and like she be doing her thing. And so hey Kalisa. So yeah, so this is a power couple, and he's decided, to once again go back to what he does well. A lot of people don't realize the people that have been behind. I mean, he's been behind for years. I'm talking about Steve Jobs was still alive. Bill Gates was still running Microsoft when he first stepped into the game. So he's not a newbie to this at all. And so anyway, hey Steph. So he saw an opportunity here. I'm sure some young person brought it to him because when it first kicked off, it was really big in Silicon Valley. It was big because they were able to have these private, seemingly private conversations because it was in beta and it was, very small community about, different things. And it was hey everybody, I don't want to keep stopping to say hey because I'll lose my train of thought, but hey y'all. So anyway, and it was just this quiet place. And so, because of who Ben Horowitz is, of course, he sent invites to Kevin Hart and to Oprah and Tiffany Haddish and all these people who, if you follow him and his wife on social media, these people are at their homes a lot. They have a lot of very impactful dinners and the who's who of, Hollywood in their homes often. So he has access to these individuals. And what smarter way to leverage your network than to say, hey, so-and-so popped in and so-and-so popped in and so-and-so popped in. But just because they popped in doesn't necessarily mean they stayed there. And so the great thing is that, now we have this new platform and in true Ben Horowitz fashion, already by November of this year, the company had a valuation of $100 million. I mean, he typically builds companies to sell, and he's still working the kinks out of this one. It's still only developed for the iOS platform. So if you have an Android phone, you can't get in. They're starting to lighten up on the invite. So, it used to be where you only can invite one person. Now, now you sit there long enough, all of a sudden you've got 3-4 invites because they realize how big the community is growing. And it's audio only. So the thought behind it is it gives you this old fashioned feeling of being able to just have a conversation. Drawback is you can't control who jumps into this conversation. You can't control who's listening. You can't control who takes it over. They're trying to put some safety guards in place. There's been some anti-Semitism conversations that have happened out there. There have been some anti-African-American conversations that have happened out there. And the other thing is I'm always interested when a platform surfaces that urban America only is interested in. Because, and I mean, and even, you look at it, so start by whites for all intents and purposes. And when I look on my phone, there's a Black man who is the face of this app. And I mean, that's, it's cool if you're saying you're creating something for us to use. But from a marketer's perspective, everyone knows how I feel about this. Like, we need to be building things that can sustain in the global economy, because we live in a global economy. Now, that is, if you want to, there's certain things that are just created for our people that, only we would find use of. And so if that's your goal and that's your target audience, go for it. We have plenty of discretionary income. We have plenty of spending power, and we need to recycle the Black dollar, and we need for it to stay in our neighborhoods longer. So I'm not against that, but this is not about you recycling the Black dollar. Clubhouse they've got this valuation based on this audience that they have, but they haven't figured out how to monetize it for themselves, nor have they figured out how to monetize it for the influencers. That's something that they're feverishly working on, but they have not figured that out yet. And so that being said, I think it's trendy and I think it's cool. I've heard some interesting conversations on Clubhouse. I've heard some insulting, some choice language, let me get up out of this room right here. Let me leave quietly, as it says at the bottom of the screen, talking about relationships and just talking about the world in general. And I've heard some ignorant conversations on Clubhouse. But I've also heard some things about stocks and about trading and about marketing and different things like that have been interesting to just sit in for a couple of minutes. But for me personally, I haven't heard anything that makes me want to just jump in and be listening all day, every day, consuming raw knowledge like that from people that have questionable credentials. It's just not my thing. Now, there are some people that I highly respect that are doing some clubhouses and that are jumping over there. And I think that if you have an existing audience and it is a large audience, and there is an opportunity for you to partner with someone and introduce your brand to 1,000, 2,000 new people, why not join in on that invitation? I mean, it's no different than getting asked to speak at a decent sized event. But I think even if I was to decide to invite my audience to a clubhouse and schedule one, I would be very strategic in who my other panelists were, because I would want to leverage it in the same way that I would leverage an Instagram Live. The best thing about an Instagram Live is that if you can go live with someone who has a following as big or bigger than yours, then their followers get notification that you're live and your followers get notification that you're live. And so then there is this culmination and this mutual reciprocity and benefit to the both of us. Your time is valuable. It is not to be wasted. I mean, unless you just out here and as a hobby, you just like to jump in on interesting conversations and do your thing, do your thing. But I know for me, I have a lot of time to waste. And then also, if you've taken any of my classes or listened to my lives long enough or gone through Brand Builder Bootcamp, I always say, be where your audience lives. And so if you have created this following on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and that's where your audience lives, then don't all of a sudden start neglecting them by being over here with the trendy kids over at Clubhouse, because they looking for you over here. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably less than 5% of them that have made the transition for something this new. Majority of people are not early adopters. They're not trusting. They're going to cut their notifications off. And so now you have to create flyers, marketing efforts, etc., for a whole new platform, when if you just pop up on the one that you use regularly, your people going to come anyway. And so this is not me bashing it. This is me saying use it strategically. This is me saying leverage it properly. This is me saying, if Travel and Leisure Erica invites you on a panel, or Condé Nast, by all means, get on Clubhouse and get on that panel. Ziggy, if Therapy Today invites you, by all means, get on that. But here's the interesting thing. Corporations, nor anyone, I don't see a lot of people outside of the urban community. I don't see corporations. I don't see young people. I mean, and I'm talking about young people like early 20s. I don't see older people adopting. So it's like people right in the middle. It's like between 30 and 50 that have jumped on the Clubhouse and are hungry to have these conversations. And it is darn near impossible for anything to sustain without grabbing the young people. Even Facebook had the young people first, and then we came. And oh, Ziggy, you so sweet. So you just have to think wider and broader. And so if you get an invitation to be on a Clubhouse panel from someone who has a huge following and you think that it can be advantageous for what it is that you're trying to do and the goals you're trying to achieve in 2021, by all means, join it. If you are just sitting in rooms or raising your hand and getting invited to a conversation because you have some free time in your hands, go for it. If you sit in a room with 20 people, 30 people, and you just sitting there because like if it's your Netflix and chill type thing, now if you clubhousing and chilling, do what you got to do, but just know that for everything that we say yes to, we're saying no to something else. And you could be over here ignoring the followers that have been with you and loyal to you while you're over here trying to figure out this piece that some venture capitalists started that's already valuated at $100 million, and they are going to sell it. They're going to sell it. Like, they are building it to sell. That's why they're not, like, these are some of the most brilliant tech minds. And like I said, Ben Horowitz, who is one of the partners, Andreessen Horowitz, which is the funder behind this machine, he is a multi-millionaire, might be hitting billionaire. And so that being said, like, he ain't no fool. He could put the money in here to make this available to Android. He could, and here's the other thing. Now, don't miss what they did though. The brilliant thing they did from a marketing perspective is use the scarcity and the exclusivity factor. That's why it's so hot. The fact that you had to get invited, the fact that you had to, that you could invite so many people, the fact that you have to have an Apple device. I mean, all of these things, like, you don't even know what the conversations they're having with Apple are. And so just know, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And there is always a business reason behind everything that we see bigger than us, usually to make rich people richer. And so you can get on that train of making rich people richer, or you can leverage or you can leverage what they've built to make yourself richer. And so you have to decide, this can be a huge tool to leverage from a strategic planning perspective. Hey, Jamal, or you could just get on there and play. I'm gonna tell you this: if I do jump in, like I said, I've had a profile for a minute. If I do jump in and y'all start seeing me make a flyer, talk about meet me at Clubhouse, just know that I'm just planning to have some dope panel. But I don't know why I would have a panel on Clubhouse for free when I can charge for a Zoom privately. I just like, that's just, so if you really have a following and you really have a way of monetizing your brand, and you've created a brand that people will pay to hear your expertise, I get free game for free on Facebook, but why am I going to now get free game for free over there on Clubhouse? So that's just me. Now, this is not to say like I said, I have some women that I highly respect, some people that I highly respect that have been doing Clubhouses. If one of them says, Sean, will you jump on? Yes, I love you. I'm going to jump on. But just don't be it's like me. I'm a bandwagon sports fan, I'm a Chicagoan and I live in Wisconsin. So the Packers Bears rivalry is real here. And I want not one person to, Al, you're absolutely right. And I said that at the beginning. If you can get on there and you can connect with some people you don't know, if you can meet 1,000 new connections on Clubhouse, then get on Clubhouse. But if you just on there talking to people and you're inviting people to a room and it's people you already know, And so what I'm seeing is people market to their existing customer base to meet them over at Clubhouse. Well, if that's the case, they were already watching you wherever they found out that you were on Clubhouse. And that's why the strategy that I recommended for those of you that just came in is for you to connect with someone that you don't already have connection with, and you to leverage your superpowers And then that way, hopefully they bring their audience, you bring your audience, and then y'all walk away. And then it's like speaking at a conference or speaking at an event. Now you've introduced yourself to a new audience and you've broadened your audience. And then in that case, I think it makes complete sense. But again, it has to make sense is the whole point of what I'm saying. Okay, so I was talking about, don't nobody say nothing about how the Bears lost on Sunday, because that was just a travesty. And to me, that's what's happening with Clubhouse. Is like it's a bandwagon situation. And you know what? I'm honestly impressed. So just so you know, I'm impressed by how the lift. I'm impressed with how it's taken off. But it reminds me of when Instagram first launched. When Instagram first launched, it felt like a gated community. It only was developed for Apple devices. You couldn't get on it with the Android. You know, we were all out there having fun. And then all of a sudden, you know, they were positioning themselves to get purchased, which Facebook eventually purchased them. And so now we know the Instagram that we know today. But it's the same type of situation. So this audio only platform has a lot of different things. You know, I've read different trade mags talking about in the future they could see it as a place for live podcasts. You know, I was thinking about it like it'd be a really dope joint for a book club or something else that I wanted to do free, because we can pop up, pop in. And I mean, it's really similar to live videos. It's really about what the title is and, you know, who's going to get in it. But like, there are a lot of celebrities out there. So if you can get in their room and start talking to them and use it as a networking tool, because I'm all about the networking, because your network directly ties to your net worth, then go for it. I mean, but when my phone pop up, I mean, the person that pop up the most is like 21 Savage. I don't really want to connect with 21 Savage like that unless he gonna introduce me to Jay-Z. But that's where I'm at with that. So then the other piece that I said I was going to talk about today was Reels, REELS, Reels on Instagram. So Reels, I've said this before, it is Instagram, aka Facebook's, because Facebook is the parent company, direct competition to TikTok. Because if you got kids, like I got kids, they are on TikTok. And then even adults are on TikTok. Tabitha Brown, the vegan, the amateur vegan chef, hit 1 million followers on TikTok, and it completely changed her life. Same with homeboy, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. Nas, what's his name? Lil Nas X. TikTok is how he blew up and ended up with a record deal and ended up with Grammys and all of that stuff. So Facebook could not ignore TikTok. And I think like when you create something that the behemoth in the market can't ignore, then like, what's up? 21 or Meek Mills, which two people who started a fight to put Clubhouse on the map. Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't popped in. If Meek Mill's talking about anti-recidivism, I'm here for it, but I don't know what he's talking about these days. So, but yeah, so well, 21 Savage and Meek Mill might be talking about anti-recidivism just based on both of their experiences with the court system. Maybe I should pop in. Ziggy, you just gave me a different thought, because that is something that I'm interested in. So anyway, I'm gonna check it out. I don't know about this fight thing. I didn't read the gossip bags with that. So, but anyway, back to the Reels. So I posted a Reel a couple days ago, and it wasn't even a Reel I created. It was like a Reel that I saw on one of my son's girlfriend's page, and I thought it was really cute, and it was perfect, like beginning of the year Reel. And I was like, send me this. And so she sent it to me, and I reposted it, and it was like a girl dancing in the middle. If you go on my IG, you could see it. And then it was like all these people surrounding her. She was in the middle of the circle, and she probably was famous. She probably wasn't singing the song, but I don't know who she is. And it was like, it said me, and it said my friends, my tribe, my family. It said me in 2021, and she was dancing, and they were dancing, and the vibe was cool. And literally in less than 5 minutes, I have 5,000 views on that Reel. And I was like, yo. and it's like, I've posted some other Reels real quick, like with the kids or playing around, but that was the first like trendy one I posted. And immediately I was in like, oh, wait. And then I'm in the Finder page. So then I posted one last week of me dancing at the office, just like, you know, taking a dance break because I had on a Power Network sweatshirt, and that one went through. And then all of a sudden my organic follows on Instagram shot up as well as my follows on my Facebook page. And so now that's the kind of stuff I'm watching. Because what's happening is they are prioritizing reels in the algorithm because it's their baby right now and it's super important to them. So it's easier for you to end up in the Finder feed of various people. And if you end up in the Finder window, think about your Finder window. That's when you go to Instagram and you hit the little search piece. Okay. See, I don't know, Tony. I'm old. I just thought it was cute, but I was like, yo, I must have hit here's the thing. So the marketer bee was like, that's cute. That should resonate with the public. But she was famous, huh? So that might help. But the one with just me dancing did a couple thousand, Tony, and I'm not famous. So I would just say I still stand by my conclusion of reels. And so anyway, and I just thought she was cute. And so, okay, Ari Lennox, I gotta look at who that is. And I thought the song was cute. And I'm glad you be watching my page because the famous Tony Cash is watching my page all the way from Georgia. But anyway, when you go to your Finder window, which is when you hit the little magnifying glass on IG, and you can keep refreshing it to see different things. You see all of these different pages. And if you click on it, it kind of becomes like a YouTube rabbit hole where it starts showing you other pages with similar interests and similar interests and similar interests and similar interests. And so that was really cool that, I started seeing myself because I managed so many other people's social media pages, so many companies that I was like, yo, I'm in the Finder window everywhere on all these pages. And just the immediate feedback with that. Then on top of that, when I did the one where I was dancing at the office in a reel is on Instagram. So same as how you create a story. When you hit your little circle, your picture, and you hit the plus sign, at the bottom, it'll say story. It'll say post, stories, reel. And it's a 15-second video that it allows you to add music to it. It allows you not only to just put it in your story, but add it to your feed so it can stay there permanently. So there you go, Shantia. That's the quick and dirty on that. So when I did the one with the PowHER Network sweatshirt on and I was dancing, I chose the song Entrepreneurship by Jay-Z and Pharrell because I love how that song starts. I love the beat. I love the message, etc. And so the video picked up on views and it got enough views that all of a sudden I got notified within 24 hours that it had got added to their music page. So now you can also search by certain songs. And now my video is a part of that whole song page. And so that's another tip for you. When you are picking your songs, pick popular songs that Instagram thinks popular enough to create a page for them because the song matters, because it can also increase your search probability on Instagram and the amount of strangers that find you. And so don't miss out on that. The last piece of it is I've had a TikTok for a few years now, and I have never made a TikTok video. I specifically got a TikTok just to monitor my kids. But with playing with reels, which have the same exact features with little exceptions as TikTok, and reels seems to be more simplistic because it's made for us older people. I realized, I told my daughters, like, yo, I'm gonna need y'all to really bust this TikTok thing down for me because now, before I really didn't see the point, I didn't want to do voiceovers. I'm not a comedian. I didn't want to make funny videos. I didn't want to do I'm a savage dance, not publicly anyway. And for the video, for the internet. But now as a marketer, I totally can see a way to teach in that 15 seconds. Like I love videos like the one I did with Ari Lennox. Now I know her name, where I can say like reels, TikTok, and I can point and the words are there and then I'm pushing them out the way. And then I'm, so in 15 seconds, I could easily do that. Now it's going to take me about 10, 15 minutes to create this video. But that's why content is king, because it's critical and it's important and you do have to take time to do it. And that's why it's a whole job. But it's definitely a job that's worth it because people are home and they're consuming content, and you need to diversify your content. And video is the fastest growing content and the most highly consumed content on the internet. And so if your content strategy and your marketing strategy does not include video, hence call Tony Cash, hire him, have him make you a video for your service, your business, etc. He's one of the best in the business in the entire country. I love you, Tony. Like you like from demo videos, like I would be having Tony doing time lapse videos for me, especially if I'm an artisan, from me baking to making to candlestick making to whatever it is that I do, stitching clothes, etc. Because people want to see the process and they're interested. We live in a world of reality TV, but we also live in a world where our kids are more apt to be watching YouTube and shows and family shows. I love those young men that went viral. Those two young men that sit in their bedrooms and they were raised like super religious. They're two Black young men and they listened to songs for the first time, secular songs, and they went viral from listening to Phil Collins in the Air Tonight. And this year they presented an award at the Billboard Music Award. And I was immediately like, this is social media at its finest. This is the power. These two young men down south in do-rags, in their bedroom with paneled walls, with their phone, nothing special. That's the other thing too. People think they got to have all of these special setups and all of these, what camera should I get? What mic should I get? What this, what that, what this? They don't have none of that. And they present at the Billboard Music Awards, and people are trying to figure out how to give them endorsements and deals. What you need, and I just told a client this yesterday, Nelly and I forgot his crew, they had a song back in the day called What the Hook Gonna Be. And the thing is like when you think about your favorite song, it's the hook that grab you. And the truth that is also true in marketing. What is your hook? Like, what is it about you that resonates with people? When I rebranded under the word power, just the word itself immediately became a hook. It resonates with people when they see it. They come to their own definition of it. Most times it's the same. And even men, when they see it, are like, oh, I like that. That's dope. I get it. You know, and if they say PowHER, I say the H is silent. And recently a young man to me said, but it's not. And that's why I know you're a dope marketer. Because he was like, because immediately it stands out to me. And so as you're sitting down and you're trying to figure out what your unique value proposition is, you're trying to think about what can you talk about on Clubhouse, you're trying to think about what reels you should make, what TikToks you should make, what should your strategic plan look like, what should your marketing plan look like for this year, like what the hook gonna be, like how are you going to hook people? That's literally why the hook of the song is called the hook, is to hook people on the song. Like what is the hook gonna be that's gonna cause you to be able to increase your followers, increase engagement, monetize it, and increase your profits? Because if you're out here for a hobby and you just doing the thing and you don't care about it, cool. But for most of the people I know that tune in, they're trying to figure out how to take skills that they already have, how to take a knowledge base that they've already acquired, and to monetize that. The consulting business is going through the roof. That's why so many people, I hope you do sign up, Lance. I look forward to that time together. So many people are out here like just floundering and trying to figure out, what their identity is for the public. And it's like, because you haven't dug into what the hook gonna be. Like what do people get when they get you? What is unique about you? And that takes time with you, and that takes you scaling and figuring out like, this is my focus. And for so many of us, it's like my live yesterday of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. We want people to choke the whole elephant at once. They're not gonna be able to do that. Like when I started the Power Network, all the different things that we do now, like all of these different, now we're a holding company. Chantel McKenzie is a holding company, and under it are all of these different things. But it didn't start out that way. That would have been overwhelming, and I would have looked schizophrenic, and I would have looked all over the place. But as you grow, you can grow building blocks to your company that makes sense, and you can do it in a way that's strategic, that it just all flows together. And so think about that as you're using Clubhouse. Definitely jump on these reels. Because here's the thing, they launched the reels the same time they saw Clubhouse coming, and all of a sudden Facebook launched rooms. But rooms are not taking off like that. But what they do know is they do know that they need to prioritize video. Video is so important that even when you there are statistics that show if you put the word video in the title of an email you send out, when you are doing email marketing, which I hope you are, that's a whole nother live. But please, please, please be building an email list and use email marketing wisely. And don't be out here spamming people. That you definitely will have a higher open rate just because it says like, view our latest video, and it's like just for having the word video in the title, you have a higher open rate on email marketing. So that is the Power Talk for today. I hope that you guys learned something. I wanted to keep my commitment. Happy clubhousing. I'm not telling nobody to be on or not on. I'm just telling them to do it strategically and to use your time wisely and not to, for so many entrepreneurs, you've already got so many things on your plate. Do you really have time to add that to your plate? I know for me, like until my YouTube crack, I am... like I have goals and I have goals set in specific time frames. And, I'm teaching my vision mapping class and I don't just teach that class, but I do that quarterly for myself. And thank you for everybody that signed up. This is going to be like a phenomenal group. One of the cool things that happens in our classes is that you don't just learn, but you get to network with the other people, even virtually. So that's happening. And then, and so just when you are sitting down and you're thinking about the strategic goals you set for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, was Clubhouse on it? And it's not to say if something new and cool comes in that you don't make space for it. Then you have to decide how much space you're going to make for it. How much time are you going to make for it in a given week? Plan for what's going to happen when it's out there. And then especially if you are investing in, you didn't miss signing up. You can still sign up, Shantia. I haven't even, look, little secret, because I've been so busy, the price is still $35 until I go into my website and change it to the $50 that it was supposed to be starting yesterday. So if you're watching this live, because I'm sure I won't forget before I go to bed tonight, you might want to run over there and you still get the bonus gifts because that's all supposed to be gone. But yeah, and it's going to be a dope class. And there's some amazing, amazing women signed up for the class from all across the country. So anyway, that's all I got for y'all today because I have to get to my next meeting with an amazing client doing some amazing things. I'm excited. I'll be excited when I can announce what we've been working on. But just know it's going to be dope. So anyway, that's all I got. I didn't leave room for questions. Anybody have any questions? I got about 5 minutes. Clubhouse questions, Reels questions, Instagram questions, Facebook questions, LinkedIn questions. You can go to powernetwork.org/events to sign up for the class. Power hours are still happening through the end of the month for $99 an hour. You can cash out Power or send a PayPal at paypal.me/powernetwork. A lot of people sign up. It's powernetwork.org, POWHER network.org/events to sign up for the class. Thanks, Nicole. And so, yeah, that is that. We also still have our winter sale on full Unleash Your Brand, which includes logo, website, photo shoot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot going on at the beginning of the year because we realize at the beginning of the year, people are really focused on launching new brands, refreshing their old ones. It's like, the same way that it happens in the gym, it happens when you have a marketing company. Everybody want to be new, as you should be. You should be. I mean, this is the time of the year where I sit down with my current monthly retainer clients and hopefully we can do it before, the middle of January, but some people's schedules don't allow for that. And it's like, okay, what are we going to do in 2021 to beat our personal record in 2020 and to make things fresh and new? Because if you keep using the same thing over and over and over and over again, you do desensitize your audience. Like, I mean, a lot of what's happening with me with Clubhouse is when I come in, because it's the same voices and it feel like the same topics, I'm out because I think I'm about to see the same thing or hear the same thing again. And I'm not even a person that rewatch movies like that. So I definitely don't want to hear the same Clubhouse over and over again. Like, that's just who I am. And if I'm rereading a book, I will do that. There's certain books that I'll reread, but it's a few years apart, or maybe, there's a couple of books that once a year I'll dive back into because they've become a part of my New Year ritual. But it takes a lot for me to, because once I hear some knowledge, I usually absorb it. But the thing is that a different piece in a book might stand up for me. So there you go. I'm going to go for real now. It looks like there's no questions. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace, love, power. I'm out.